Hello, Visionary. So welcome to our Human Design Life Purpose event. So this is a live training. We're talking about human design, the basics, and really what it has to do with life purpose. In our last training, we talked more about the business aspect, and this is more going to be about the spiritual aspect, the spiritual part of it. And sorry, I'm getting ahead, get Bijou in here. So, this is going to be more about life purpose, more of the spirituality, and more of that part of human design. So, I just want to make sure that everyone is hearing me and that you guys can see me. I'm not speaking to no one, and that I'm not muted. And then once I get the okay, then we're going to dive into the intel. So, if you actually are hearing this, give me a little teeny shout out and let me know if you wouldn't mind giving me like a thumbs up in the chat or just like a little, yeah, that would be fantastic. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Trista. Hi. Hey, welcome. So yeah, so it's Black Friday and it's the day after Thanksgiving. So everybody's probably whatever type of Thanksgiving you're having, right? So we know that it's a little bit of a crazy time in history. We're in this great pandemic. There's been a lot of upheaval, a lot of pain, a lot of strange, bizarre intensity on the planet. Here we are in Southern California, and we're actually seeing a lot of surges in the number, a lot of intensity. We actually didn't do a big Thanksgiving this year. We did a very, very small Thanksgiving, but we did have a great turkey, I will have to say. And we wanted to do something special for Thanksgiving and for Black Friday. So we do want to make a really, really special offer for all of you who have been following for a while, and you're like, you know what, it's time for me to go a little bit deeper. And today is really the day, if you're interested, that we're going to make some offers for you. We're going to give some great discounts. But first, I want to kind of go into the training. So thank you for everybody who's here live. If you're listening to the recording, thank you for being here for the recording. Go ahead and type in replay if you are listening to the recording. For everybody that's here live, we're going to dive in. We're going to talk about human design, the aura types, and all that other fun stuff. So if you are here live and you have the ability to type in, go ahead and let me know what aura type you are and what your inner authority is. So that would be your aura type is whether you're a projector, whether you're a generator, whether you're a manifesting generator. You might be a manifestor, you might be a reflector, and your inner authority is either going to be emotional, sacral, splenic, self-projected, ego, mental. So go ahead and type in the chat. Let us know who's here. This way we can get a sense of what aura type and how you guys are, what we're starting with, so we can kind of dive into the intel for today. So if you guys don't know, my name is Raquel and I am a splenic projector. And really understanding and learning human design was really so incredibly life-changing for me. It really was an absolute eye-opener for how I operate, how I learned how to live. I mean, I had so much incredible pain and suffering around not being seen and not really having good, learning how to like do business as myself. There's a lot of intensity around it. And once I learned I was a splenic projector, everything sort of changed for me pretty dramatically. So do we have any other projectors here? Any other splenic projectors, emotional projectors? So go ahead and type in the chat. Let me know. Let me know who's here. Oh, awesome. Okay, so you can type in better over on Facebook. So, hey, Trista, she's a splenic projector as well. Yay, fellow splenic projector. Awesome. Yeah, so, hey, Manifesting Bliss, I'm a projector. Nice. Awesome. Good to know you. I love every type because it's really just a fascination of the uniqueness, right? We're all unique. We're all here to have a unique mission. Because, and some of you know my history, but I'm a practitioner of many, many different studies, I've studied shamanism, healing, spiritual psychology, a lot of different modalities, and a lot of people that are in our Facebook group and who are in our communities have a lot of different healing modalities or different types of ways of coming to this intel. But from my perspective, there's nothing better than human design to understand how to operate correctly in the uniqueness and being able to sort through all of the intel and then detail it down for how it's going to work for you. So it's not this general sense of follow your intuition, follow your heart. Well, that'll work for some people. If you're an ego projected, right? Then yeah, following your heart is good advice, but not really for someone who's emotional or who's sacral, right? Those types of like generalizations, they don't really work for everybody. And so no matter what you're studying, there's always going to be something that'll throw you off if you don't know your uniqueness, whether it's law of attraction, spiritual psychology, what I studied for a decade, shamanism, anything you're doing, you really have to understand your unique way of dialing in your DNA so that you can really like utilize all these tools for yourself and for your own uniqueness. So I hope you guys had a fun Thanksgiving. We did. We had a fantastic Thanksgiving. So much fun. We made our own turkey. We just had a blast. But anyways, the whole point of today is to really get some leftovers, have some fun, and we're gonna like go deep into this conversation. So I hope you guys are ready to dive in. So we've got some projectors so far. Do we have any manifestors on the call? Do we have any reflectors, any generators, any MGs? Let me know. So we're going to be talking a little bit about life purpose. And can you find your life purpose in your chart? That's really the question. We'll get a lot. A lot of people are asking me, what's my life purpose? Can we discover, life purpose by looking at the chart? And so the interesting thing about life purpose is that it actually is quite complex. If you're studying life purpose and, it actually is kind of a complex idea. And thank you for the love, by the way. Hey, Karen, emotional projector. Nice. Awesome. We got a lot of projectors here. I love you guys. I love projectors. It really is nice to connect with fellow projectors. It just is a different energy and they deserve to be recognized. And they also deserve to understand that sometimes life and business can be a little more intense for our type because we don't necessarily fit in the same way, don't have the same energy. And once we're recognized and invited, we actually do have that energy. And if you luck into it, fantastic. But for a lot of us who didn't, there's a lot of pain and sort of intensity around discovering how do we, find our life purpose and be in a business that works for us. And that's a lot of what I teach. And a lot of what I have discovered along my own personal journey, which is that I've been a serial entrepreneur, but why was it so hard for me for so many years? Until I found out I was a projector. I was initiating, I was pushing, I was trying to make stuff happen. I was really trying to make shiz happen. Okay. So, whoops. Oh, okay. Look at that. This is really interesting. I can show the chat's very cool. We've got MG Sacral Authority. Awesome. Very cool. Look at this. Manifesting Bliss. I'm splenic too. I'm still learning, entering the business world. Interesting. Sorry, guys. I just found a new thing on my software. It's fun to see your guys's chats. So really, yeah. So entering the business world can be intense for a projector. Okay, just straight up. I mean, for any type. Plenty of generators, manifesting generators can get really frustrated initiating and learning skills that don't fit for their design. And plus it's, the rave chart is complex. There are a lot of factors that play in. It's not just your type, right? It's going to be your gates. It's going to be your channels. It's going to be all kinds of things. Today, what I'm going to talk about now, so if you looked up, life purpose and human design, they may say, oh, you'll find your life purpose in your incarnation cross, or you'll find it in certain streams, you know, and a lot of people, like in the gene keys, when Richard Rudd talks about it, he'll talk about it in certain areas. But the truth is that life purpose, it's really sort of a complex notion that needs to be contemplated. And what actually is life purpose? Because life purpose isn't like, oh, you read your gate and it says, oh, you're designed to be a teacher. You're designed to be, I mean, yes, there are some archetypal energies of teachers, but like, you're designed to be an accountant. You're designed to be a doctor. Like, you're not going to see anything spelled out in your chart that clear. And no one's going to read your chart and say, oh, you know, it's not like doing a fortune telling, right? Where all of a sudden you read someone's hand or whatever, and they say, you know, when you get older, you're going to be a blah, blah, blah. Doesn't work like that. So life purpose, really, more than anything, it's a frequency. And it's a frequency of your design and your chart and all of these things coming together. Now, what we learn about in human design is before you're living your design, what your frequency is a little bit of chaos, because you're living out the not self theme. Now, this is true for any study. If you're studying law of attraction, anything, they're going to say that, you know, during the ages from 0 to 7, you were sort of imprinted. Your subconscious was imprinted by whatever was around you at that time. And so a lot of what you create in your life, a lot of the patterns, whether you're, you know, if it's really easy for you to make money or you're struggling with it, a lot of times that comes directly from your early patterning, you know, your early sort of conditioning of whether your parents were struggling, or, you know, whether they told you, you know, you got to work really hard to make money, you got to get out there, you got to hustle. All these things come from our conditioning, whether your parents told you that or they just lived it, right? And so what we learn in human design is most of our lives, what we're living out is our not self theme, which is basically what you get from your conditioning when you're as a child. And this is coming from the parental behaviors. It's coming from TV. It's coming from your teachers. It's coming from your friends. It's coming from, you know, the news. It's coming from magazines and all this stuff that's imprinting. Now, what I love so much about human design is that they show you where and how this stuff is imprinting specifically for your uniqueness. Okay, so your unique codes, your unique undefined centers, your unique where you're white in your chart. Okay, so now we're going to be talking a little bit about the centers. In those areas, that is primarily where you are vulnerable to this level of conditioning. Telling you, if you're not getting a ding, ding, ding on this, then you should, because this is the area that completely metamorphosized my life. It's like, oh my God, these are sort of like the chakra centers, right? So if you learn the chakras, you learn that they're sort of like this way of having these energetic centers, right? So you're going to have the head, the throat, your energetic centers. Human design talks about the 9-centered being, and they look at each center in a totally different way than any other system out there, any other chakra system, anything like this. And so when we learn about this undefined center and the whiteness and where that shows up in your chart, right? You absorb and amplify the outside world and the conditioning. So you want to understand where you are white in your chart. So if you are here live, or if you're listening to the replay, then go ahead and type in as well. I'm going to go back and look at all the comments, but let me know if you have a white. So the top one is called the head, right? Your crown or your head. Then the second one is called your ajna. So you have the first two, the head and the ajna. Could be like your, you know, the third eye, whatever. But go ahead and type in the chat. Let me know if your head is white or undefined. Okay, so I want to know if anyone here is defined that it, or if they're undefined. So what we're talking about now is this notion of this idea of, now if you're undefined, I'm undefined. If you're undefined in your head, the top triangle is going to be white. And basically what that means is that you're absorbing and amplifying all of the thoughts of the outside world. And so sometimes it comes in as like confusion or amplifying, or like you feel this pressure to manifest the thoughts, right? So we have manifesting bliss is white. So she's an undefined head. SL is undefined head. If you guys want to put your name in there, You don't have to. Okay, Karen is defined. Great. Awesome. Okay, and Trista is my partner's reflector. Oh, and all open. Yeah, so that's a totally different experience, right? And Trista has a defined head. Okay, perfect. So we have both here. So the defined is actually sort of, this laser beam, or it's sort of like the defined is more the ability to kind of project out thought, and they have more of a consistency with it, and they have more of an ability to sort of inspire other people's thoughts, and it's consistent. If you're undefined, you're taking on, absorbing thoughts, not really knowing if it's yours or if it's the outside world. It can also be taking on the anxiety of the world, right? Through like a lot of the confusion. That's more the ajna, but and then, so if you're anything like me in your undefined head, the head is a pressure center. So for so many years, I actually had this intense pressure to manifest all of my downloads, right? So in spirituality, we call it downloads or channeling, right? And this is a lot of people who have any kind of spiritual background. They get these insights or they get downloads, right? And so the first thing they do is they think they need to go out and manifest those ideas, go out and take action on those ideas, right? So they're out there like, I got to make this happen. And if you're anything like me, and I have willpower, so I have a defined will, I had the ability to like go out and make stuff happen, like push and push, And so that was totally my not self theme on all levels. It was not only my not self theme, but it was actually using my will in an unhealthy way. So each center can be healthy or unhealthy. But when it's undefined, you're very, very vulnerable to the pressure to take on a not self theme. And particularly with an unhealthy or an undefined head, unhealthy too, expression of that, you are taking on this pressure to think, the pressure to figure things out. You ruminate, you figure things out, and it can throw you off your entire life in a direction of a lot of bitterness and frustration, right? That's me manifesting everything. Wow, I'm working on a download, got this morning, right? Okay, so what we teach in human design is that was really for the seven-centered being, was a lot of the spirituality that came through. The seven-centered being learned how to, really important stuff, like how to, think and talk and all these amazing things that the head does. But since we evolved into the nine-centered being, it basically, what it's saying is that like the head actually is not an ally so much anymore. It's actually something that takes us into a lot of pain, a lot of frustration, and living our not self theme. So that's really uncomfortable. And a lot of people are in a lot of pain from that particular experience, right? And so what we begin to learn is that in the nine-centered being is that when we operate correctly as a nine-centered being, we drop out of the head completely, and we drop into the intelligence of the vehicle intelligence. And the vehicle intelligence then begins to like turn on. And when the vehicle intelligence turns on, all of a sudden you begin moving in the right direction, and all of a sudden, like a beautiful opening path that begins to light up, you begin to walk your life purpose. You begin to see your life purpose because it lights up as a directive through the vehicle intelligence, through the vehicle knowledge, the vehicle intelligence. It's kind of like all of a sudden the cells turn on. All of a sudden you have a heightened tingling of knowing in a way that your mind can't possibly understand. The mind is so stuck in the logic and figuring it out, which was great for the last, 100 years. But now there's something more, there's something deeper, there's something more powerful, there's something more electric. And we are allowed to live our life purpose now because we have the opportunities. Yes, we've got a lot coming up right now, okay? There's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of not knowing which direction to go. Whether you've lost a job, whether you're seeing like job, the decline of whatever you're witnessing with this whole pandemic, right? The thing is, what human design is saying is that there is a directive, a path that begins to open up as you turn on this powerful vehicle intelligence that is far smarter than the mind. And this is now proven in a lot of science, right? That we don't even, our scientists and our logic can't really understand the power of what's in how our blood pumps, how we, how actually, we can heal the bodies and birth these babies. And like, there's a lot that this body has like far greater ability than our scientists can even really, I mean, yes, we've figured a lot out. I'm not saying we haven't, but there is an intelligence that's far greater than the mind. And so what human design is saying is like, let's get out of, putting the intellect and like putting it up on a pedestal, and let's really engage, right? I always feel lost. I'm a busybody, figure it out button. Exactly. So you guys are with me. You totally get it. The mind is like this really intense trying to figure it out. It's always ruminating. It's always like pressuring us to do things. Go out, go do it, make this happen. And we're all conditioned to believe that. Okay. And right now there's a lot of conditioning going on. There's a lot of agenda. There's so much agenda in the news. There's so much agenda. Now, I'm not going to get political here, so you can all say thank you very much. You're welcome. I'm not going to get political, and I'm not even going to talk about my point of view or any opinions or anything like that. All I'm going to say is that wherever there's an agenda, there's a force that is conditioning you. Okay. And the most important thing is you need to learn how to get your energy back in your body so that you can live your own life purpose, your own purpose. Okay. So your own purpose begins to unfold when you take the power back from all of the conditioning and you discover you have power within. Now, this is so huge. I see this everywhere. We get confused and we look outside for confirmation on what's happening in the news, what's the truth. We look for the experts we love for their opinions. We look for, news anchors and all sorts of different speakers to tell us what we should do, what should we think. And then when we're talking about life purpose, what we're talking about is going to like a psychic or going to a tarot reader or going to your guru or going to somebody who's going to tell you what your life purpose is and tell you what to do. And my part of my life purpose is to empower each one of you to say, don't go outside. Even people who have no agenda, okay, even like spiritual teachers or gurus that have no agenda, a lot of them do. But even if they don't have an agenda and they're telling you what you should do or who you are, giving you any directive, they are taking away your power. Even if someone is more awake or enlightened, they should never tell you what to do. Now, when we start moving into the breakdown of what's happening now, basically, is there's a breakdown in truth and lies and all of it. The whole system is kind of like turning upside down, right? We don't know what to believe. There's a breakdown happening. Whatever you want to look at it, there's a breakdown, right? So in that breakdown, what human design is saying is the only thing you're going to know, because you'll never be able to figure out what's really happening. There's so many lies. There's so much out there. You're never going to be able to really figure out what is going on in the White House, to be perfectly honest with you. You're not. Unless you're actually the president or you're somebody who's in there, right? And most of us are pretty removed from that. We're not like visiting the White House, right? So you're not going to be able to figure it out. It's just, so the best thing to know is that the only truth is what is within you. And the only way to operate is that the only way to really operate is by your own meter, your own inner authority, your own directives, and your own truth. And it will guide you to your life purpose. You have a life purpose, meaning you are here to play your role. You have a purpose. You have a life purpose. It's not something I can tell you exactly what it is, but what I can do is I can teach you how to live it and discover it and allow it to come out to flower. And that is a beautiful transformational journey that by far is one of the most exciting things that you could possibly live out. Because as long as you're living out an agenda, even if it's like a good agenda, like, oh, my mom wants me to be a doctor, and even if it's like, oh, that's pretty good, but I don't really like medicine and, it's kind of draining me and I'm a little burned out. Well, that's living out an agenda that's not your own. And what we're saying right now is that the most important thing that's happening on the planet through all of the confusion and even through the breakdowns, even if you're losing a job or whatever is happening, is the birthing and the discovery and the awakening of your truth and your true self and your true identity, who you are. I think the biggest thing we're learning right now about what's happening in the news is that we all know that there's agendas. We all know that huge corporations want to make more money, so they'll control the news a little. And maybe at first was just a little bit, now it's like a lot of it, right? And so we're all seeing through that, unlike maybe in the 50s when we were all just like, oh, so what? It's advertising. How cute. They want us to buy something. Well, now we're seeing that like, hey, it's not so cute anymore. It's just not so cute, And so the agenda is getting more driven, more forceful, more powerful. And so we have to look at agenda throughout our entire life. Anyone who has an agenda on us, it's actually very, very uncomfortable and it actually hurts. Now, look, there are some agendas that are not horrible. Like we do have inspirations to guide certain directions, to do certain things. And I'm not going to lie. I want people to do human design. I do sort of have an agenda. I want people to learn it. I want people to understand it. Why? Because I believe that it'll heal the planet. I believe that the inside of living the truth of who you are actually is a service to humanity. I actually feel that it's a true service, that it's a service that I'm giving. And then once you learn it, you give it to your children, your family. You empower your husbands, your wives, your children. You empower someone. And so that empowerment is actually like spreading to me, it's like spreading a light, right? It's spreading a light and a vision to the world of transforming into a beautiful and powerful way. Now, a lot of people with agenda may agree, may think that if I sell this or that, maybe I'm doing some good for the world. And so, some people may have a positive agenda. Whatever, the point is that you have to make your own decisions for your own life, completely your own life, right? And so that is really when we're talking about life purpose, right? Yeah. So, and in business, if you think about this for a minute, if everybody in business, you're talking corporate, you're talking all these things, if everybody in business learned human design, how free would that be? Oh, you're better at doing this. Okay, that part of the career that's totally draining you and keeping you like drained and enslaved. Go on, here's the freedom. Do this. Projectors, go home early. Take a break. I know if you sleep for part of the day, you're going to feel so good. You're going to be able to work like a 12-hour day in 2 hours. So go home and take a nap. Right? So you have to understand, like, I truly 100% feel that it's serving the planet. So I do have an agenda. Okay. So I'm going to put my agenda out and let you guys know that is my agenda. I do believe that. And that's part of it for me is like, I want to live my life purpose. I want to have my career and make money based on my truth that also is serving humanity. You know, and I think ultimately that's the choice that we all want to make, is like, do we want to serve humanity? And also, like, do we want to awaken to our truth? And the beautiful thing about human design is it's saying, like, when you serve your truth and you are in your truth, then, you know, even though you might serve, okay, you're not going to be trampled, because you're going to make sure that it's all based on truth, your own truth, yes or no, like, this is correct for me, this isn't. And so when you go through each one of the centers, we talked a little bit about the undefined head, but the truth is, the purpose, your purpose, is found in each one of the centers. And I know that sounds strange, but in each one of your centers, we unlock your truth in each center. Okay, so in each center, your throat, what you're here to manifest, your G center, right? Your G center is who you are, your direction, right? Your will, your ego. Whether you're defined or undefined in each one of these areas, you know how to then heal, how to decondition through each one of those centers. So you have to go through each one of the centers and begin the process of deconditioning. One of the things that I really am so fascinated with, and I'm going to go way deep into this come January, is about manifestation. Okay, and the study of manifestation, the study of law of attraction, and all of these things, and why they work for some people, why they don't work for other people, and really like understanding how manifestation works in business, so we can really like have successful business. How do all those tools operate? Well, the truth is that there are certain things that you can only see through your human design in order to learn how to turn on the deeper part of manifestation. So once you go through your centers, when you decondition, you can also turn on, meaning there's the subconscious implanting that happened through, you know, the age of 0 to 7, which we all know is truth. We all, any study of the subconscious, they all know that those are the times when we're the most conditioned, right? And in human design, you know, they say you're just conditioned all the way through your life until you learn human design, which is probably true. But what do we do about it? What do we do if we've been wounded, like severely wounded from our conditioning, right? Or you've been, you know, abused in any way, like physically or emotionally or sexually, or you were like had some sort of trauma. You know, those things take time to heal. And each undefined center can get more or less wounded depending on the rest of your design. And so by going through each center and then reprogramming, right? It's not just about deconditioning, it's also about reprogramming. So you're not just pulling out the trauma or pulling out the specific codes that you were given from your family. It's about putting back in those healing modalities, or the love, or the new imprinted idea, the truth of who you are, to begin to live a life that definitely reflects your truth. Now, the only way to do that, though, because a lot of people do that through hypnosis, through a lot, you know, all these specific things that you could do. But if you don't know your design, it's like reading your own DNA code, how much insight it gives us, right? How much insight does it give you to know, like, oh, this is my DNA, this is where I'm vulnerable. So when you know your DNA code by your human design, the gates, each gate, then you know exactly what it is that is going to take the reins, what is going to then operate correctly, how you're going to actually like see yourself become, you know, for example, this is just the analogy that came in. Like when you're, you know, in a cocoon or you're metamorphosizing, you don't know if you were meant to be a butterfly or a dragonfly or like what, if you don't know who you are, right? And so, and then it really helps you. So like a perfect example for myself is the 2644. So if you guys know human design, that's the channel that runs from the spleen to the will, okay? And it's the channel of surrender, right? But it also has a lot to do do with sales and moving the humanity and moving the tribe forward by asking them to invest in things that serve them and also serve the humanity, right? There's a positive way. There's also a negative way, which is like what I was telling you before, is like the agenda. So with this 2644, some people call this like the sleazy salesperson, right? And so when you look at this channel, a lot of people say, oh, you're so manipulative and blah, blah, blah. And that is a negative way to look at that channel. But, you know, what happened for me was because of this, I had a huge, intense aversion to anyone selling me anything, whether it was good or bad or anything. The minute someone tried to sell me something, I was like, I don't like that. You know, I have like a total aversion. If you have the 2644, do you guys relate to that? Great, Christine, right? Yeah, it's interesting, right? So I had a total aversion. So a lot of what happens is that when we have that energy within our chart, we are conditioned into the negative, the shadow, by pushing it away and not understanding the truth and not understanding where the gifts sit, where the gifts are, and where your superpower can get turned on, and where you can totally awaken like a greater empowerment through knowing your truth and through knowing the awakening. And so all of this is starting to come through for me, is this whole notion of how do you, well, once you learn who you are and you start to live correctly and empowered and you go through each one of your centers, I see a lot of people that there's a lot of pain or a lot of things that still need to be healed. And so they may have trouble like really launching their business or being seen. And even though we're deconditioning, there's still like wounds. So how do you heal those wounds? And there's no real tools in human design to really heal those wounds. So what I'm going to be doing is infusing through each one of the centers techniques and tools so that we can reprogram where we were conditioned into our not self. But you need to be programmed through your true self. So for a positive example, like I was saying, the 2644 at its highest is me sharing and encouraging people to invest in things that actually serve humanity. So there is a positive way to do sales. There's a positive way to not, either push your agenda or to not be like sleazy, like if you don't buy this, then you don't, whatever it is that you do, it's just like, here's my offering. It's done out of love. It's done for transformation. It's done to support and, heal humanity. If you're into it, great. If not, great. I still love you. I want you in my community and I want you to flourish. And so that's really like the deconditioning process of letting go of, any of the negativity around that, and then reconditioning the positive. And then moving through again, so then, moving through the undefined centers where you may have been conditioned negatively. So for me, that would be my sacral, right? So I was conditioned to hustle, to push, to make it happen, to keep up with the generator world. Oh, if I got to do sales, I got to push, I got to hustle, I got to make it happen, right? So projectors are like, they're not ever given a break. It's like they're absorbing and amplifying that sacral. And that's probably, well, manifestors too, and our beautiful reflectors. I know we have some people here who they were saying that their partners are reflectors, and so obviously we have to include them. I've been getting a lot of requests for reflector videos because Davidian and I haven't done a lot of reflector videos, and so if I have a reflector on here, they are coming. We are going to do those. Okay, we love you. You have a very, very important role to play too. But the projector that I know very, very well, right? We really suffer. We're running, we're hustling, we're pushing, and we're pushing so hard. So for example, the energy of the sales, just to use that channel, right? So then the conditioning that I've had to decondition from is the sacral, which is 70% of the population, conditioning me that I've got to hustle, work hard, work long hours. If you're not here past, you know, like when I was working for corporate, if you weren't the last one there and the first one in the door, then you're a loser. You know what I mean? Like you so loser, right? And it is not cool to be the lazy one. It's not cool at all to be the one who needs to go a little slower and who needs to, like, you know, go into their car and take a nap when everyone's at lunch, right? It's not cool, right? I freaking love my reflector. I've learned so much. I bet they're amazing. I mean, they're just amazing. These beautiful unicorns. I do too. I have some amazing reflectors actually in my life. My goddaughter actually reflector. Yeah, they do. I love projectors will take care of you. Exactly. And that is really a big part, is really, for me, it's not just projectors I love, but it's really about letting each type learn the uniqueness of all the people in their lives and all of their team and their business. And, you know, when you learn whose role, who's got an important role, what their role is, and you learn how to let each person live their role, freedom. And also, all the pieces come together in business for magic. Okay, if you know about BG5, the human design business piece, it's all about the penta. It's all about all these pieces coming together. Who's going to play those roles and who's going to operate correctly as themselves. So watch out for that. You know, we're going to be doing a lot more around manifestation, business, and all of that piece. So interesting stuff, right? Interesting stuff. So thank you guys for everybody who's typing in the chat. If you're new, you're just jumping into the live, we're talking life purpose here, and we're talking about life purpose for all the types and what life purpose is, and how does our matrix, our body graph show what our life purpose is. And that's kind of what we've been kind of digging into today a little bit, is how to uncover that life purpose. And so if you're just jumping in, go ahead and type, or if you're listening to the replay, let us know what type you are and what your inner authority is. It's really just fun to kind of know who's here if you haven't typed it in yet. And so I wanted to also acknowledge that today is Black Friday. And so a lot of people have been asking us, like, what are you guys doing for Black Friday? Black Friday is like, you know, it's the day for us to like really give back to our community and to say, you know, you guys a lot of people have been wanting to do level 1 and do the business basics and really understand about human design. And so now is the time to really open the door to giving people deals. If you like good deals, giving the community an opportunity to do this work for a little bit less money, right? Sacral authority generator. Aha! Awesome. I love sacral inner authority. I love being around it. It's so powerful, right? It's just such a powerful force, the sacral. And so I just want to let you guys know that we are opening our doors to level 1. So right now I'm teaching, what am I teaching? I'm teaching level 3, and I'm teaching the 4 radical transformations, which is the PHS, the environment, the view, and the motivation. It's really, truly one of the greatest courses I've ever taught. I love it so much. So like for those people that want to know, you know, what their diet is, their environment. So that course is already going, so you cannot jump on that. The level 3, obviously you can't jump in because these people have been working for, you know, quite a while going through level 1, level 2. So what we're doing right now is we're opening our door to level 1. So if you want to start your level 1 journey, we are offering a great discount to anybody who wants to jump on level 1. Now, all the links are in the description to learn about level 1. We actually have a DIY version, do it yourself. So you can just take the material, absorb it on your own time, do it at your own pace. For anyone who's actually really wants to do it and you're like, I need to get this discount, it's not going to be on our, if you look at our pages that we have for you, the discount is going to be given for those people that email me at support@raquelreina.com. And what we're doing is we're doing $100 off. And then I believe that for the live classes, which Davidian is teaching, I believe he's doing a discount for the first month. And so if you guys are curious and you've been wanting to do this, today is the day. And all you need to do is just say, I'm interested. You don't even have to sign up today, but if you go to support@raquelreina.com and you say, support at Raquel Reina. Yeah, support at raquelreina.com. We're going to honor the discount for you. Okay, so we're going to honor the discount for either the DIY or the live classes. Now, when you do the live classes, they're so much fun because basically what you're doing is you're getting a group together and you're meeting every week to go through the full deconditioning process. So each week you go through the head, you go through the ajna, the throat, you go through each one of the centers and you begin the process to understand where you were conditioned as a child, where you were conditioned to, give away your power, how much you're living is your not self theme, right? I was planning to email you back today. Woohoo! That's awesome, Kate. Yay. And I still have a free gift for you. So we got to get that for you as well. So it was either the Mystical Mindset Power Boost or your advanced chart. So you can let us know which one that you want. Yeah. So we love giving out stuff too. We love giving you guys discounts and giving you, so the DIY do it yourself, it is super, super fun. I guide you through every step of the way. Basically it's like I help you through the whole process, and I help you through the whole process, and you get certified. So it's like and if you're like doing any kind of coaching at all out there, if you're coaching, life coaching, healing coaching, if you're doing any type of coaching at all, you really are doing your clients a full disservice if you don't understand their human design. If you're looking to change careers and you want to do human design readings and you want to begin this as a profession, then this is also where you begin that journey. Or if you really just know that you're not on your life purpose and you want to be, then this is what that's going to do for you as well. It's going to start your life purpose. If you're an entrepreneur like me, my whole entrepreneurial journey was bitterness and intense pain and working way too long and burning out before I learned how to live as a splenic projector. And that really honestly it's just I never work more than I have energy for. I don't want to say, I only work 2 hours a day, but I really don't ever work when I'm tired, across that, just straight up, boom, it's not going to happen. And so I've really learned how to create a business, and live fully as a splenic projector, which, to me is it's huge. And this is what I want to offer and share for you guys. It's really just such an incredible process. And then I believe Davidian is going to be starting his live where he shows up each week, and his live classes are going to start in December. So all you need to do is email us, and if you are listening to this recording, okay, and you've missed Black Friday and it's next week or whatever, just email us and say Black Friday deal, okay, and we will honor it for you. Okay, so just email support@raquelreina.com, Black Friday deal, and we will honor the discount. So anyone who's listening to this recording, obviously, we're not going to offer the live classes way after they get started, but if they haven't started yet and you want to jump on, we got you. We got your back, okay? So we want to make sure that you can get in on it. Yeah, it's life altering, right, you guys? Yeah, Christine and Kate, it's so unbelievably life altering. Literally, and you guys, I tell this a lot, but I met a shaman, as you guys probably know my story, after I read all of the Carlos Castaneda books, and I went, I want to meet my first shaman. And literally, this is when I was in my 20s, studied shamanism. Then I studied all of the healing matrix, all of the NLPs, all of the, all different types of healing modalities, spiritual psychology, got my master's in spiritual psychology. And I got to tell you that nothing changed my life as radically and as powerfully as human design. And I've had a lot of enlightened teachers, a lot of gurus. And as a matter of fact, the main thing, and what I was talking about before, was empowering myself to know that no matter how evolved someone is, I have to trust my own inner knowing. No matter how awake, no matter how enlightened, it doesn't even matter if someone's way more evolved than you, you know your truth. And I think that's a great thing to end this live training on, is just really empowering each one of you to know that when you empower your own inner conviction, no matter what level you're in as a spiritual practitioner, or how much you know about human design, or how old you are, it doesn't matter. When you empower yourself, you are giving yourself the reason you are here on the planet, which is to fully live as your truth, to create a life based on your truth, and to know who you are, and to allow it to open up your life purpose and the path for you to awaken. So I'm going to leave it there for you guys today. Thank you all for being here live, and everybody here, and Kate and Christine. I'm so grateful for all your comments and your feedback, and everybody who is commenting today. I really appreciate the feedback. If you guys are watching on YouTube, give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe. We actually are going to be doing a lot more videos, and so we definitely would love to share those with you. If you ring the bell, you'll get notified of it when we get a new video out. And if you guys are ready to get a little discount on your level 1, this is all level 1 discount, just email us at support@raquelreina.com. There are links to the free master classes so that you guys can see what it is that we're doing, and you can watch more about the level 1 then. Oh my God, there's a special appearance.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yeah, if you guys were lucky to stay to the end, you get to have a little meeting with Davidian.
I have nothing to say other than 2021. Looking forward to the magic and the weirdness of that frontier that we're crossing into, that wilderness we're going to be walking through. Right now, it's a wilderness, right? But I have that sense of fastening my seatbelt. It's going to be a ride.
Yeah, it's like being in the not knowing is such a great muscle, to just be in the not knowing and to like really surrender that, because we all want to know, we want to figure out. And some of the beauty of being in the not knowing and letting the ride unfold is really, I think there's going to be a lot more not knowing.
Yeah, there has to be comfortable with the unfamiliar. That's the muscle we're being asked to flex right now. That's completely atrophied, right? Our unplanned future, where all plans are breaking down, all the support structures are starting to crumble, all of the shadowy stuff can't hide in the shadows now. So now it's just like done in front of your face. Like, what are you going to do about it? That's the new challenge is, well, what am I going to do about it? Well, first, I'm going to have to figure out how I can make sense of what's going on around me that's not based on what somebody else is telling me. And this system, with Raquel is already very well put, is your personal get out of jail free card in figuring out what is true for you, and not a conditioned response that your mind narrates at you based on where or how you ended up being raised and what you grew up in, and not letting that define who you are and what your potential is. And hey man, it's just a big choose your own adventure book. So that's all I want to say is good journey, and welcome to the future.
Yeah, and I just want to say that, and like, I know you don't want to, I'm not going to do a big, huge sales pitch for Davidian, but if you guys are interested in his level 1, it's going to be friggin' amazing because I've had the inside scoop on it. Okay, just want to tell you guys, his slides are like this magical, like beautiful visual journey. And it is going to be unlike anything you've ever seen in human design because he's so an artist and creative. And so his level 1 is going to take you through a mystical journey, visual, like just incredibly beautiful. So I'm going to give that plug to him because, I am a little bit biased, but if I were just starting out on human design, it would be the one that I would want to do. So anyways, level 1, it's available to you. Support at raquelreina.com. Was that fun to see Davidian? Those of you guys who got the sneak peek, if you guys are here, not everyone got to see, right? People dropped off. Was that fun? He doesn't always make a live appearance. Right? He's adorable. We love him so much. And yeah, hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your families. Enjoy. Mwah. We love you guys, and we'll see you in level 1. Cut my finger making my turkey. Level 1 with a Band-Aid. All right. Bye, guys.